us around.
Like somebody in all black. Hello?
You got the fixed camera on the left hand side. You can see it on the video.
The wilderness can hide dangers that remain invisible until it is almost too late. From a snowboarder unknowingly chased by a bear to a human-like figure appearing only on a thermal camera, these encounters leave one disturbing question: what else was watching from the darkness? This viral clip from 2026 features Kelly Murphy. The entire incident takes place during heavy snowfall with extremely poor visibility. Kelly is snowboarding while wearing headphones, fully caught up in the moment, enjoying the descent and concentrating only on the experience, unaware that something dangerous is getting closer directly behind her.
Quack, 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 na na na, quack, 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 quack. Baby,
What makes the footage so striking is that Kelly never realizes a large bear is following her from behind, and judging from the noises it makes, the animal does not appear harmless. Her lack of awareness may have actually protected her, because without realizing the danger, panic never had a chance to take control. She never stopped, never made a potentially fatal mistake, and simply kept riding while focusing on the slope ahead. Videos like this spread quickly online because such moments are uncommon, becoming stories people continue sharing for years. Kelly had the ride of her life and only discovered the danger after watching the footage afterward. Sometimes staying calm without knowing the threat exists can affect the outcome, while small decisions can matter more than we understand. Do you think she survived because of pure luck? Or was there another reason the bear eventually failed to close the distance? For this footage, we traveled to Russia to see something that may look almost normal in that region, but is actually an incredibly dangerous act, one that reportedly ends in death in more than 90% of cases. The clip is short, so let's watch what happens.
Дай ему пирожок там. Подожди, я ему сейчас руки дам. Дай пирожочек. На скорей. На скорей. На пирожочек. На скорей. На. Вкусно? Да. Вкусный пирожок? Дай ему сюда. Иди скорей. На скорей. На пирожок. На скорей. Иди скорей, на. Че, невкусный, что ли? Что-то хрякает, что-то не нравится ему. Вот так, умница. Вот так вот. Красавчик ты мой.
At first glance, the situation might seem harmless, but when two bear cubs are present, their mother is usually somewhere nearby, and polar bears are not animals anyone should confront because survival is unlikely. A polar bear may be one of the few creatures willing to intentionally hunt almost anything, including humans, making escape extremely difficult. You can hear the urgency in their exchange when they talk about moving quickly, because they know the mother could appear at any moment and turn the situation dangerous without warning. But when you look carefully at the cubs, despite how young they are, their size is already impressive, making it easy to imagine just how massive their mother could be. Sometimes people move closer than they should, even while understanding the danger, and everything can change within seconds for everyone involved. Would you have remained that close or left before the situation became too dangerous? The footage below was uploaded to the YouTube channel Indiana Jones in October 2022. In the video, a British YouTuber named Richard started a solo van camping trip near Great Yarmouth in England after completing work. He climbed straight into his van and began the roughly 4-hour journey from the northwest toward Great Yarmouth. His plan was straightforward: spend one night at one of his selected locations, then enjoy the following day with his son at the zoo before driving home that evening. However, as he approached his regular area, he soon learned that all nearby campsites were booked. As a result, he decided to stealth camp at several locations around Great Yarmouth, including a primary spot, a backup location, and a final option along the seafront that made him uneasy. When he reached the first car park, it was packed with modified cars and groups of people making a small van, trying to stealth camp far too noticeable. He immediately gave up on that plan and drove toward his backup spot, but major roadworks and diversions along the way forced him off the main highway and onto roads he did not know.
Now there's a couple of spots that I've stealth camped down there before, on the way down there sort of thing. So when I get down to the
first spot was full of cars. Joys are doing it on a Friday night. All the little boy racers are out with their little groups.
that last one is the one that's sort of a last resort, so to speak. It's typical seafront. It's a bit nervy sort of place. It's a 5-hour journey from the northwest of England all the way across the country to Norfolk coast.
Right, off to the second spot. Uh-oh, we're coming up to roadwork signs. Keep seeing signs saying follow diversion. Just down here is my second spot, my second choice. Oh no, I'm just gonna have to go down to my third choice. It's the one I didn't want to have to do, but hey, it's the third choice. I know it's going to be available when I get it.
With no better alternative, he headed for a seafront parking area in Great Yarmouth that he had wanted to avoid. By the time he arrived at the seafront, the area had suffered a power outage, and he could see at least one other van or camper farther away. With no streetlights and darkness surrounding the area, the location felt even more uncomfortable. He tried to sleep, but on the silent, completely dark street outside, movement around his camper van suddenly woke him.
I've just pulled up and I've got a light on this. That's how you can see me. So you've got a camper van down there, but it's absolutely pitch black. Got the lights on there, but it's quite eerie actually. There's my little paradise for tonight, because I don't want people to see outside. Full double bed that I'm sat on here. I'll see you in the morning. Good night. I think they're trying the doors. I can hear the van going. Yeah. Right. I think they're gone. Let's go and have a look, shall we? Look, see. Nobody is around. Close that up. I don't want anybody to know I'm here. That was scary. That was a bit spooky. It's the first time that's ever happened to me. So I'm all locked up. I'm not moving. I struggle trying to find a spot. I'm dead shaky.
After waking abruptly and feeling the van shake, Richard, unsettled by what had happened, grabbed a light and went outside to check the area. He discovered that someone had interfered with his fuel cap, suggesting an attempt to steal fuel or possibly break in, but nobody remained nearby, with the person likely vanishing into the darkness. He returned inside, secured everything again, and tried to settle down, deciding not to drive away so late at night. However, at around 4 a.m., movement near the rear of the van woke him again.
I think they're back. Right, that's it. I'm moving spots. It's a Friday night. I've had some time to think. It took me about half an hour to find another spot, and I've dumped it in that. I'm by a road, but I don't care. It's getting on now. I actually have to wake up, but it's a Friday night. This does look like a van. Doesn't look like a camper van. That's possibly where I made the mistake. I might just chop a window into the side of this just to make it look like a camper van. Worst case scenario, I've got a walking pole down there. I can do absolutely nothing with it.
After the second incident, he had had enough. He collected his belongings, started the van, and left the area looking for somewhere safer than the seafront. Sometimes, a small decision about where to park can change everything, and a threat does not always need to be visible to feel real. Do you think this was simply bad timing, or was that location always likely to end this way? By morning, despite what had happened, he kept his promise, took his son to the zoo, and turned the day into a long, enjoyable escape from the previous night.
We're walking underneath an acorn tree, and
an acorn just hit in the head. One hits
The
you in
acorns
the
are just
shin.
flying up and hitting us in the head.
Yeah.
She went into the swamp searching for evidence of something unexplained. But before the night ended, the danger she could actually see became just as disturbing as what she could not. On May 2nd, 2026, the woman behind Lisa's escapades, a US-based outdoor research channel centered on wilderness observation and possible cryptid activity, entered a dense part of cypress swamp in Green Swamp, Florida. Her fieldwork often makes use of audio recorders and long-term monitoring to examine signs that might be connected to Sasquatch activity, and she considered this area a promising place for that type of research. Right away, there were indications that animals had recently been active nearby. One of the first details she found was a feeding area where a raccoon had scooped out the inside of an orange. As she pushed farther into territory she had never explored, traveling became more difficult. The swamp floor turned increasingly unstable underfoot, while dense cypress stumps blocked the way, forcing her route to become narrower, slower, and more physically exhausting.
I just thought I heard something. I hear people. That's really weird. I hear some people talking. At least I thought I did. Huh. Oh, I do hear somebody. Look at the size of that tree. Somebody's up here. I hope it ain't somebody that's gonna hurt me. Oh! I think...
At one stage, voices were heard somewhere nearby. They were later identified as belonging to two other researchers collecting equipment close to the river. That solved the mystery of the voices, but it also showed that more than one group was investigating this isolated part of the swamp at the same time. Farther inside the swamp,
were those sticks there when you guys came through earlier? Just one of them was?
Last time we were here, there was just the one. Now there's two.
Because this was, I wanted to take it. It's really straight.
Is it down in the ground? Oh no. Hikers probably. Maybe I'll use it. Yeah, I'll use it and then leave it. It's a nice stick. Man, there's a lot of cypress stumps out here. That looks like an accident waiting to happen. Look at them all. You trip over one of those, you'll know it. There's trails all going through here. What was that, a gator? That area over there I think is pretty big. This ground...
She discovered an abandoned fish camp and a hunting blind. The location appeared to have been used before, and although nobody was there, it still carried the lingering feeling of a place that had never been completely abandoned. The tension rose when a large alligator was spotted near her pack, serving as a reminder that the swamp itself posed real danger.
Thought I just saw some eye shine over here, but I don't see it now. So this is what my fairy lights look like in my truck at nighttime. You see I got everything closed except for the... Yeah, pretty comfortable. And I made this like wedge to go under my head, and now my back doesn't hurt, so I'm happy. There's a big old gator right there. That's his eyes and his nose.
Regardless of what else might be hiding there. Later, another large alligator appeared near the camp. Some of the activity around the area now had an obvious explanation, but several other details still remained difficult to explain. The altered structures, the isolation, and the recurring sensation of being watched created an uneasy mixture of natural threats and unanswered questions. Swamps can intensify that feeling. Sound does not always move directly through dense trees, water and uneven terrain, meaning voices or movement may seem nearer or farther away than they actually are. In an environment like this, even ordinary wildlife can seem unfamiliar and unsettling when you cannot clearly see exactly where the sound or movement is coming from. By the time everything was over, the most disturbing part was not a single event, but the way every detail continued adding up. The voices were explained, the alligators were real, and the abandoned camp had likely stood there for years. But when a place keeps giving you reasons to feel observed, How can you tell which fear comes only from the swamp and which one does not? Some forests seem deserted until you realize something may already be nearby. For Angelo, it began with a black van unsettling noises and a series of objects that seemed far too personal. On November 3rd, 2023, YouTuber Angelo from Exploring with Angelo returned to a large forest in Canada to begin filming a new Randonautica series. He had visited the area before, but this time the woods felt unusual from the start. Near the entrance, a black van sat idling at the trailhead, creating tension before the hike had even begun. As daylight started fading, Angelo moved farther into the thick brush. Then strange rhythmic noises began echoing from the trees behind him. They did not resemble ordinary animal sounds. Instead, they seemed more like something moving in a repeated pattern, almost as though it were imitating the sound of a person walking.
Just cold so far. What the hell was that? That was a really weird sound. Is there somebody behind me? They're coming down the trail making some weird sounds. I don't see anything.
Before long, the forest revealed a series of disturbing objects. Angelo discovered a jar containing a foamy liquid, then a doll's head surrounded by hair ties and clumps of what looked like human hair. The objects did not appear random. They seemed deliberately placed as though someone had left them there with a purpose.
What the hell is that? What am I looking at right now? Looks like you? Dude, there's like hair or the head or something attached to it. Or maybe not. But there's no head. Okay, that's really creepy.
Things became even more disturbing near the creek. Angelo found a 4x6 photograph and a letter. The message claimed that a person named Jack had interfered and had been made to pay the price.
What the hell? Who the hell are these people? Okay, that's creepy. I don't like finding photos of people in the forest. Main stays 4x6 inch. Oh crap. Jack got in my way, so I got in his way. The way of my way is clear. I will not stand for anyone standing in my way. I told her how much I loved her and want her. I think she got a little scared. I know I'm ugly, but I love you. I also keep hearing something down there. I told her Jack was in the effing way. Pat.
As darkness continued closing in, Angelo noticed a figure dressed completely in black watching him from the shadows. Then a distant, high-pitched scream echoed through the forest. At that point, it no longer seemed like he had merely stumbled across strange objects. It felt more as if someone nearby was circling around him.
F it, that's why. Alright, we've got some signage down here. I think I just saw somebody. What the hell was that? Looked like somebody in all black. Hello? Oh yeah, look at that. Damn, there's a trail. I don't know, I feel like this could be a trap. I just saw somebody down there. We heard weird noises. Very weird items connected to other things that we found.
He hurried back toward his car, but the disturbing discoveries were not finished. Attached to a tree, he found a new notebook that had not been there earlier. Inside, the handwriting appeared similar to the writing in the previous letter. The pages contained rambling statements about filling all 59 pages and taking a girl named Jen North.
About it. It's empty. What is that? Some random notebook. 59 pages. What? Most Must fill all 59 pages. I'm still sorry. I'm still sorry. I'm so sorry. This looks like the exact same writing as what we found on the picture. Okay, well, I'm gonna get in the car. This was not here when we started.
Then the black van slowly returned to the road, watching from the darkness. Angelo locked his doors and remained inside, shaken as each detail started to feel less accidental.
Okay, it was getting a little chilly out there, and I feel like I'm kind of starting to sweat. I'd also like to point out that van is gone. At least as far as I could tell, I did not see it. So the van is gone. The bag was hanging there off of that sign or tree or whatever.
In the end, the most disturbing part was not only the figure, the scream, or the van. It was the sense that he may have stepped into the middle of something real and that someone wanted him gone. Jeremy is a committed explorer who visits isolated cliff tops often by himself. Because he spends time in these unsettling places, he gives the Truth Proof channel observations about unexplained activity. His encounters have included brief sightings of unusual lights and disturbing waves of fear. But on one night, carrying his thermal camera, he would record striking evidence of something strange, an experience that would force him to question what he believed was real.
I got my thermal. It's one of the ones that attached to your phone.
Yeah.
So I can hold it out in what was going on. As I was holding it up, you could see a figure just to the right of the path. You got the fixed camera on the left-hand side. You can see it on the video, the fence post. As I scan across, you've got the path. And then this figure's a powerful torch.
You pointed out it's a torch that's more than capable of going. Shall we just go up here a little bit further? Are you all right for time?
Yeah, it's fine.
So
yeah.
Torch is more than capable of going past the distance of this figure.
Yeah. So I got my phone held out with the thermal on it.
I'm not sure what that is.
I've got my torch in the other hand, lighting up the field, which I thought was a little bit odd.
I'd probably thought it were a lot odd, to be honest with you. You know.
And I thought, well, I'll walk towards it. Because,
yeah. Well, you actually comment on footage. I'm going to have to walk.
On a dark night a month earlier, Jeremy was alone on the cliff tops, climbing a hill toward a fixed camera. With a thermal camera connected to his phone, he checked the surrounding area. As he moved the device across the landscape, a clear figure appeared on the thermal screen, standing motionless beside the path on the right.
I'll walk towards it. Because,
yeah, well, you actually comment on footage. I'm going to have to walk towards it.
If we don't go towards it, we're never going to know, are we?
Well, I've said to you many occasions, if I ever see anything, you've got to go towards
investigate it rather than come away. Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're just thinking about it.
So how big would you have estimated it to be?
It was difficult to say.
Yeah.
To be fair, the size of your phone screen.
But if anybody said, "Oh, that's just a rabbit stood on its back feet," or all that.
No, maybe a bit smaller than person, depending on the distance that it
is
away from.
I'm sorry that light's dazzling you, Jeremy.
So I decided to walk towards it. As I was walking towards it, I'd scanned the camera about to the left, came back, and it had gone past where the figure would have been. And I scanned around the entire field with the thermal, and you can pick out a fox.
You've looked with your torch, and you can see this thing on thermal, so it's clearly there, but you're looking with your torch where it is and it's not there, and then you take your thermal camera away, when you look again it's gone.
Yeah.
It's not possible, is it?
No. There's been a couple of occasions over the last couple of weeks that I've come up, so I normally come up before you guys, and I've not wanted to walk any further.
Well, it's unusual for you, that, isn't it?
It is, yeah, because I don't know, I wasn't, I just thought it wasn't a good idea. I can't really put it into words.
And then you said you saw a white light just appear.
Yeah, so that would have been probably a month or two.
So that's a month before you've seen this.
The figure, believed to be around 150 yards away, looked human in size, perhaps smaller, and appeared to have a backpack. Uneasy, but determined to understand what he was seeing, Jeremy tried identifying it. He took out a flashlight capable of reaching across the distance and aimed it at the location shown on the thermal display. Nothing could be seen with the naked eye. However, through the thermal camera, the figure was still there, a quiet heat signature standing in an otherwise empty field. Although his discomfort increased, Jeremy chose to approach the spot. While moving closer, he checked the area again through the thermal device. When he finally reached the location, the figure was gone, leaving only an exposed field with nowhere obvious to disappear. Jeremy scanned, and the thermal camera detected foxes and rabbits, but there was no sign of the unknown figure.
There was a bright light, like a very bright torchlight.
Just a single circular light, not a beam or a
not
spread.
a beam. It wasn't lighting anything up. It was just a bright light, which sort of like a pinprick, and it disappears. This was on and then off. Like it was, stayed on for a second or so. If we just carry on up here, I stopped at you can see the bench.
All right. Yeah.
Which, strangely enough, was around the same sort of spot that white disc in the field.
Yeah.
Which would have been about that sort of area. So I'd stop there because so I stopped for about a minute looking out. Just parked up in that top car park and just turned the lights off. So I was sat in there talking probably for 5 minutes. The back door of the car, tried something. Somebody tried to get in the back door.
Its disappearance left him confused. Something visible through thermal imaging invisible without it, and then missing from an open field, offered no simple explanation. This was not the only unusual incident Jeremy experienced there. On other visits, he described an intense feeling of dread that stopped him from walking farther along the trails, which was unusual for him. He also remembered earlier sightings in the same area, including a white light that appeared before vanishing, and a white disc he had seen through mist years before. More recently, Jeremy saw a bright circular light in the field, followed shortly afterward by a broad, dark shadow moving sideways across the horizon, something unlike anything he had witnessed previously.
Did you see anybody?
No. So I flicked my light beam, had a look round. There was nobody there.
You didn't feel like getting out?
No way I was getting out.
And were your doors locked?
They were locked, yeah.
That's frightening, that, isn't it? When you think about it, if your doors had to be locked.
So,
right.
It is a good job.
Parking about where there's no cars, there's no people, we're in complete darkness.
Yeah.
So if we went to be parked in car park, which is the lower car park. So basically, this is a lesson to be learnt for everybody. We talk about UFOs, strange lights, strange people maybe. So don't come up here on your own. I think if we've levelled it out, we've got to say potentially it's a person. It just shows potentially it's not just about unexplained phenomena. There might be somebody unsavoury up here.
Well, it seems to be the thermal cameras are picking things up. Ian filmed the orb, or whatever
sphere, yeah, that were revolving.
And we wouldn't have known that was there without the thermal.
No, that's true.
So the thermals do pick.
The Truth Proof host then described another disturbing incident that happened in a nearby car park close to the cliff tops. While sitting in total darkness during a phone call, the handle on the rear car door was suddenly pulled. After the lights were switched on and the surroundings checked, nobody could be seen. The vehicle had locked its doors automatically, possibly preventing a dangerous encounter. What makes the footage especially troubling is not only what appeared on camera, but the isolated place where it occurred. In locations this remote, even ordinary explanations can feel disturbing. Do you think Jeremy misinterpreted something natural, or was someone else out there watching him? The mystery has never been resolved, leaving behind a direct warning: never visit these locations alone. Angelo is the creator of the YouTube channel Angbona TV, an adventurous explorer, fascinated by abandoned and mysterious places. Through unfiltered immersive footage, he takes viewers into locations where history meets the unknown, from deteriorating buildings to forgotten stretches of nature. His purpose is to uncover the hidden stories these places hold, and his fearless style continues keeping viewers interested. One day, Angelo and his friend Lomar would discover just how disturbing these explorations could become. On an unspecified date, the pair set out to explore a legendary location known as Haunted Lake, carrying cameras and a sense of anticipation.
Alright guys, we are currently en route to our next haunted location. It's pretty much in the middle of nowhere. Cell reception's already quite low.
Their drive took them into a remote region where cell reception quickly faded, emphasizing the isolation of the place they were approaching.
What are you doing? Come on! Let's get a move on! King's Road? Which one's King's Road? Can't go that way, Omar. Okay, well that was a little confusing. For some reason it says private road. Okay, I mean most of the signs just say you can't park anywhere on the road. We plan on parking somewhere closer to the lake, like actual trails or whatever, to get right to the lake, which is kind of what we wanted to do, but if we have to, we'll park nearby. That's the plan, and then we'll just... You end up with issues in places like this because you're not sure what's public, but obviously there are some spots that are also private property, which is understandable. But we think we may have a way around, so we got to backtrack a little bit and see if it'll actually take us where we want to go. Otherwise, this might be a little bit of a bust. There's a spot in there, it's called Haunted Lake, literally called Haunted Lake, and it is rumored to be extremely haunted.
The journey became more difficult, as navigation apps directed them toward private roads and blocked paths, forcing them to turn around several times. Despite mounting frustration, the attraction of Haunted Lake, officially marked by that name on Google Maps and rumored to be intensely haunted, kept them going.
Now hopefully Lomar has no issues with his new old Subaru. This is a lot of freaking rock on this road. I mean, I got all-terrains now, so I am good. Make sure we can actually make it without destroying our vehicles. It's pretty freaking far in there too. Right, I think we found a spot. Not here. We kept driving. We are like literally directly across from the lake right now, but back there was a clearing, and I also noticed that looks like it goes straight to Haunted Lake. So we're turning around, and we're going to go back. There's actually like a trail, it looks like, back there.
It doesn't look like much, but
it'll turn into something?
It'll turn into something.
I believe in you. I believe in you. So there's something I've been meaning to test out. I'm going to get to that in a moment. And then afterwards, we'll probably go towards the lake, start setting up camp, but I'm going to try this. Just to give you guys a little preview of what you guys are about to see on the main channel. We're just kind of standing here. There ain't anything else to do, and the reason why we're doing that, but...
Let me just tell him to shut up.
Yeah. Shut up! No, it didn't work. Let me just flip the off switch. Hang on. This is actually Haunted Lake, what we were talking about. It's legitimately called Haunted Lake on Google Maps, but we're going to wait till the sun sets, and then we're going to continue investigating. Hang on, let me speak up. This is as wilderness as it gets out here in Nova Scotia.
After crossing rough terrain and dealing with repeated detours, they reached a small clearing deep in the woods opposite the lake, where a faint path seemed to lead straight toward the water. While Lomar prepared the campsite and tarps, Angelo tried testing his solar panels, but limited sunlight made it ineffective. The surrounding wilderness felt wild and untouched, fitting the stories connected to the lake. As evening drew closer, the atmosphere became heavier, and the area began to feel like the kind of remote wilderness often associated with unexplained encounters. Later, Lomar walked toward the lake and came back visibly disturbed, describing unsettling things he had noticed.
This is definitely like Bigfoot territory, 100%. But we've already had some weird experiences just in daytime, and now we're waiting basically until the sun sets any minute now. Just kind of sitting here, just waiting. It's getting dark now, starting to get a little spooky. Lomar went down there. See if he sees or hears anything. We'll explain what that was on the actual main. Definitely heard something. I know it's really, really loud right now. There's nothing I can do about it, but I don't know. Heard something. I think I just got bit right on the frickin' hand. Ah, it's so itchy right now. Dude, I swear I just saw a flash of light over there. Almost like somebody had a flashlight. The hell? Yeah, I saw a flash of light.
A flash of light?
Yeah, all the way down there. It looked like a flashlight, to be honest. Maybe somebody's coming through, but wouldn't they still have their light on?
Is that tree knocking or is that an animal?
I'm not sure.
I can't hear over these freaking...
I know, me neither. I hear something.
That was like a monkey to me.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like an animal getting like murdered or something.
Soon afterward, Angelo heard a strange echo, followed by a sudden burst of light across the water that resembled a flashlight even though no person was visible. Then came disturbing animal-like noises that sounded unnatural and deeply unsettling.
Back at the campsite for the time being, Lomar just went in. He said it was really freaky in there. A Wendigo sanctuary. Something crazy just happened. You'll see that in a bit. But yeah, I'm gonna go in myself alone because I'm stupid. Omar went in, he survived. So I don't know why it wouldn't be okay for me to go in. This rain is really a buzzkill tonight, but it should stop at some point, maybe like 3 in the morning or something like that. All right. Oh, this is it's definitely kind of creepy. Let me grab my other flashlight. Okay, now I'm hearing whistling. That is not an animal. I literally just heard a person. Well, that was a target. Those are some big rounds too. Somebody's been out here doing some shooting. Okay, I just heard something down there. What was that? Whoa. Okay, something just took a big step back here. There's another can over there. I don't know what that was back there. It literally sounded like something stomped. Hello, somebody back here? Weird, I was hearing a voice. It sounded kind of like it came from this side. The stomp was like over there. The whistling was like this direction. It's like 3 different things in completely different directions. Well, I guess we can confirm this place has definitely got something going on. Whoa, it keeps going. But I've seen like this multicolor light or reflection or something out there. I hear something back there. What in the... What was that? Dude, it's like somebody's like right next to me. Dude, that happened at the lake too. What is doing that? Starting to feel a little out of it.
Back at the campsite, Lomar said the area near the water felt dangerous and forbidden. Despite worsening weather and steady rain, Angelo entered the forest alone to investigate further. Inside the woods, he heard unusual whistling noises that did not seem to match any familiar animal behavior. Deeper inside, he found evidence of recent human presence, including discarded cans and spent shell casings. His uneasiness increased when he began hearing noises resembling footsteps, voices, and heavy movement behind him. The sounds came from different directions, adding to his confusion and fear.
What's doing those sounds? What is that? Okay, I'm gonna go a little further in. We're out here now. What the was that? What the was that? Flee the building. The was that? Okay, I've had enough. Something's here. Something's like making some weird ass breathing sounds. It's like something's following me. Whatever's here, stay here. Don't follow me. Okay. Continuing on. I'm gonna just record the whole way through just in case. But that is like creepy. I don't know what the hell was making those noises. I feel like something's out there. It's creepy. Damn. Okay. Well, let's go make sure Lomar is okay. I think the campsite's like just back here. Oh man, that trail goes in far. Damn. I'm assuming people probably can ATV through there, but I don't really know if this is just a natural trail or it seems like somebody probably made it for off-road. Yay.
As he moved farther, Angelo saw strange, multicolored lights or reflections in the distance and heard sounds that seemed disturbingly close, leaving him disoriented. The situation intensified rapidly, and he decided to end the investigation and retreat toward camp. While retreating, more disturbing noises appeared, creating the impression that something was following him. The sensation of being watched remained until he reached the campsite. Once the two were together again, it became clear that both Angelo and Lomar had heard similar unsettling noises, including deep whistling sounds. Although neither was physically harmed, the psychological effect remained. The events could not be explained and left them with serious questions about Haunted Lake's true nature. Trusting their instincts, they chose safety, but the memory of the noises, the lights, and the constant feeling of being watched remained with them. One thing was certain, the legends connected to Haunted Lake were far more disturbing than they had expected. That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story. Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.